Welcome to my Brother's Keeper podcast. This is your host, Courtney Foster and Brian Payne.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Welcome. I'm your host, Courtney Foster.
And I'm your co-host, Brian Payne, and we are
all
my
brother's keeper. All right. Welcome to my Brother's Keepers podcast. We're excited to be here today and to get this underway. We got a special treat for you all, and we're gonna get right to it. How you feeling over there, Brian?
Hey man, I'm feeling good, man. Welcome everybody. We appreciate y'all coming through today. We got a treat for y'all for sure today.
Let's make some noise up in here. Let's get some air horn love. One more time. There you go. Welcome. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We up in here today. Let's get to it. Round of applause. Let's clap it up. Yeah, bro.
Yes, sir.
Good energy.
Yes, sir.
Energy, y'all. Yep. You know you in the right place when stuff started happening, man. My mic went out right before this started. Everything. We doing all this stuff behind the scenes, trying to get it ready. But you know what? That is our cliche. That is our mantra. Do it anyway. Do it through the wire. If your mic went out, pick up your phone, grab another mic, figure it out. Don't stop. Just do whatever you got to do. Let's get to it. So we're going to jump right into it today. We're not going to waste this time today. I know a lot of people are just doing a lot today with the holiday and all things of that nature. So we're going to get right to it. We got a little something we want to share with the people. Brian, can we share it with them?
Go ahead. Yep. Hey, but we don't let's introduce our sponsor.
All right, let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. We in here. I'm gonna get some air horn love too. Yeah, there we go. So Crawford and Son Lawn and Maintenance LLC is sponsoring our giveaway today. Yeah, we got another giveaway coming at you live and direct. Crawford and Son Lawn and Maintenance LLC. They're based out of Greenville, South Carolina, and surrounding areas. All your lawn care needs. If you in that area, holler at them. The number is 864-612-9200. Again, it's 864-612-9200. We're gonna give it some love. They're sponsoring our giveaway. They said giveaway $40 in gift cards on the lawn care on Crawford and Son Lawn and Maintenance. We said let's go do it. Let's do it. So if you are a business and you want to sponsor our giveaway and you want to give back to the community, holler at us. Let us know. We would love to shout your business out and let the people know what you're doing. They're doing Greenville. They're doing a lot of good. They have done a phenomenal job down in that area. They're growing. They're coming to the metro line, and they're trying to work their way to the Charlotte and Gaston area. But we're happy for them. They're happy for us. So they will be sponsoring our giveaway. You may be sitting at home like, hey, what giveaway? What are you talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you want in on the giveaway, if you want in on the money, you know these gas. How much of them got gas prices, Brian?
Hey, gas prices super high, so I act like you don't need no gift card. So I'm telling y'all better tune in.
I was trying to tell you, y'all better come get this money. So all you have to do to get your name entered in for the giveaway. The audience is still laughing. We got a live audience. All right. All you have to do to get in on the giveaway is three things. One, you need to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, right? We made it real simple. If you go over to our Facebook page and go to the bio, we have the YouTube link as well as the Instagram link right there in the bio. So you can click on that and follow us. Second thing is to be active in the chat. Be active in the chat. We want you to respond to us. We want you to engage. We want you to immerse yourself in this experience. So make sure you're active. And some of y'all do a great job of just showing love in the chat. And then the last thing, and certainly not least, you need to stay on this live until the end, right? Even if you got to hop off and go to the bathroom and come back, that's fine. But make sure you're here when we call names, because we're putting names in on a raffle thing. And if you're not here to receive and claim your prize, we're going to have to move on to the next person. So those are the 3 things you have to do in order to put your name in for the giveaway. And yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Like I said, we're getting right to it today. We're not waiting around. We have a really strong topic today called breaking the cycle, right? This is a very important topic. Today, we're just going to touch the surface. This is part 1 of a mini series that we're going to do, is breaking the cycle. And we all have our own cycles that we're going to break, but I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to my brother, Brian, and let's go ahead and tell the people, for people that may not know, what is breaking the cycle? What we talking about?
Breaking the cycle, man, aka generational curses. So people might have recognized the term of either generational curses or generational cycles. Same thing, different terms. But breaking the cycle pretty much basically means it's an unintentional decision to recognize unhealthy patterns and behaviors and your mind, just your mindset, period, passed down through generations and generations, and choosing to change them, choosing to change them so they don't continue through you. So the curses that you've been experiencing throughout your family from generation to generation, just making sure they don't continue through you. It's about becoming aware of what you've been taught, what you experienced, and what you've been normalized as. And then having the courage and discipline to build something different for yourself and the next generation and for your kids and stuff. So that's basically what it is.
I love it. And this is a very important topic. And you may mention generational curses. A lot of people say generational curses. People say breaking the cycle, whatever, what have you. This is very important because we all, as people, as humans, we all have things that's passed down to us, right? We all have cycles that's passed down to us. And today we're going to address some of our cycles that we broke personally, and then also give the people some universal principles that can apply and are applicable to their cycles. So let's talk a little bit about these cycles in depth. So breaking cycles can refer to cycles of poverty, right? Or financial instability. Right. I know that was something that we dealt with. It's just poverty, coming up with a lack, raising kids with lack of resources, lack of money, lack of transportation, just that poverty mindset. Another cycle or generational curse, if you will, is addiction and abuse and neglect. Right. A lot of us out here have experienced different types of abuse, whether that's physical abuse, whether that's emotional abuse, or whether that's sexual abuse, right? Neglect, right? Going to bed hungry, things of that nature. And then addiction, right? Addiction is a widespread thing, substance abuse, drinking, smoking, heavy drugs, those things are patterns that are passed down. You can talk about cycles of non-communication or poor communication, right? We come from an era where people didn't like to communicate their feelings, their thoughts, and things of that nature. So that hurt us when it came down to getting a job and getting a career and things of that nature. Having some of those unresolved traumas, right? That's passing us through. Go on, you all right? Good. Just go on through. You good? You good? Don't worry about it. Don't cry. Suck it up. Go on through. And we holding that stuff in. That trauma, those emotions, and not really getting that resolve for our inner child, right? Another issue or cycle that we dealt with was just being in survival mode, right? A lot of us was just living in survival mode, and we didn't know no better. We didn't know no better. We thought that was just what it was and how it was, right? But ultimately, you got to get to that growth mode, right? That striving and thriving mode, right? That stability, and you got to seek that healing that's necessary for you to go into adulthood as a healthy, a sound-minded, high character person. But it comes from, you know, dealing with some of these things. But essentially, to sum it up, you know, breaking generational curses and breaking the cycle is basically not being a statistic. You know, people like, don't be a statistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they say. That's what they mean to a lesser degree of being a statistic. You know, being that you know, the numbers say that if you live in these neighborhoods, you go to this school, and you had a single parent, then you was more likely to go to jail, or, you know, be in prison, or you know, not go to college, or dead, or whatnot. So some of those generational curses kind of dictated some of our outcomes. So and the last part, and I know you got some stuff to say, Brian, is this is very important to me. What I'm about to say is one of the key parts that we want you to take away, audience, from this is breaking the cycle starts at home. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say that again. You know, the key part of breaking the cycle is at home, right?
Yeah.
Let me clap it up for that. Right?
It definitely starts at home.
And what I mean by that is a lot of us, and I have it. I had this. I'm guilty of this. I'm raising my hand. This was me. You know, some of us have this I'm gonna save the world mentality, right? I'm gonna save the world. I'm gonna go out and do this good work. I'm a volunteer. I'm a, I'm gonna do this at the church. I'm gonna do this at the YMCA. I'm gonna do this at the local food bank. I'm gonna do this on the highways and byways. And then our house, we're not touching our house. We're not touching our family. We're not ministering to the people that's immediately affected by our decisions. So the key part of breaking the cycle is starting at home first. We may have good intentions to go out and help people, and even coaching. Like, coaching is a ministry. Coaching is breaking cycles. And I had to reel that thing back, because sometimes we can get so far out there helping other people's kids and doing things for other people's kids, and we're not doing for our own kids. So breaking the cycle starts at home first. Your ministry, your home is your first ministry. So we all need to govern ourselves accordingly. I'm not saying not to go and do good things. Do good things, do great things, but know where your priority should be, and it should be home first.
You hit the nail right on the head. But I'm gonna tell you something. Something that stuck out with me, like, it's really, really stuck out to me. What you said.
What's that?
Was the trauma part.
Yep.
In our community, especially in our community, man, it's bad, man. We don't want to deal with the trauma from our past. We just don't want to deal with it. We have to seek therapy.
That's right.
Us as a people, we have to be able to. We gotta recognize that we need help, for one. Two, we gotta seek help. We gotta start normalizing therapy, man. A lot of us walking around here with past traumas, and it's bleeding into other relationships. Whether it's romantic relationship, whether it's at home, dealing with your kids, your co-workers, your friends.
That's it.
That past trauma, we're not even realizing it's bleeding into other things, and it's hindering us. So we gotta seek therapy, man, as a people, and we got to be able to heal properly in order to not be able to bleed, let that stuff bleed into other things in our life.
That's so good. That's so good. I'm guilty of that, right? Not having unresolved trauma, unresolved issues, unanswered questions. People just telling you to suck it up and keep going, and you holding that stuff in, and it's coming out different ways, right? We have this pain, we have this unresolved, this unsettled spirit about our childhoods mainly, and we never got answers for. And not just us, but just in general. We just kind of going about and not really seeking the help that we need. So we want to definitely normalize therapy, normalize having these conversations, especially as men, especially as Black men of color, being out here navigating and trying to, make something of ourselves. So that's so good.
Fact.
That's so good. That's so good. So we're gonna get into this. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. We're gonna get into it. But before we get into like our personal cycles and our personal things that we dealt with, we want to get a people some practical, universal tips and tricks on how to break your own cycles, right? We want to just give it to the people for free, right? Because some stuff that we're going to talk about is specific to us, right? But what we want to do is give some universal,
some free game,
game for everybody. If you at home or if you listening to this live and you like, you know what, I need to just dive into my stuff. I need to seek out my generational curses. I need to break some cycles that's been passed down to me, whether it's mental health, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's urges, whether it's bad habits, whatever it is, right? I'm gonna give you 5 practical steps that you can apply today and begin that journey to solving some of these broken cycles that exist. All right, so give me a second. Let me put this on here. Can everybody see this? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Then we can see it right there. All right, so we're gonna get to this real quick, and we're gonna give you this 5 quick pieces of game about 5 practical steps to breaking the cycle. Right, we're not going to present y'all to death today. We're going to do a lot more audio talking, but we felt this was necessary because in case you wanted to take a picture of the screen, wanted to share this part out right here. But the first step that we understand and that you should understand in terms of breaking the cycle and changing the trajectory of you and your family's life, right? I'm gonna say that again. Changing the trajectory of you and your family's life. These are the things that you can do. The first thing up is recognizing it. All right, we talking about it. We gotta recognize it. We gotta recognize we gotta identify the patterns and be honest about them. The habits, the mindsets, the behaviors. You can't heal what you don't reveal. Right? You have to recognize it. You have to say, you know what?
Hold on. Say that again. What was that?
You can't heal what you don't reveal.
That's a fact.
You can't, like, you got to blank it out. You got to, that's me. That's me right there. Right? I'm dealing with that right there. That's the first step. Right? The second part of that is once you recognize it and you find out what it is, all right, you got to take ownership of it, right? We taking ownership of it. What is ownership? What is ownership, right? You got to stop blaming people and circumstances, right? Even if you didn't start the cycle, you're responsible for ending it. You didn't start it. It was passed on to you, right? You like smoking weed because your pop smoked weed and his pop smoked weed. Everybody smoked weed. And you got it now. You was in that secondhand. Now you didn't create it, but you're responsible now that you know about ending it. So you have to own it, right? You got to own it, right? So that's the second part. The third part is just understanding the root, right? Understanding the root. Now, this one right here, I don't recommend you. I mean, you need to get enough information to understand, the pattern, to know it exists and to identify with it. You don't have to go and searching and blaming and pointing the finger at nobody, but just get enough information about your family, your ancestors, to know where the trauma started. Where did it first happen, right? What environments create this type of behavior, right? Because if you don't understand the root of it, you're deemed to repeat it. You might recreate it without even knowing. So you need to understand the root of it, where it's coming from, who it came from. Have those uncomfortable conversations with your mom, with your dad, with your grandpa, with your uncles, with your aunties. Go ahead and just get the stuff on the table and spearhead it straight on. It's going to give you the ammo you need in order to do the next.
Hey, that's deep. That's deep that you said that. That's really the very thing that I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I just started asking questions in my personal situation. I just started asking questions, started digging deeper and further. And now as an adult, I didn't understand it as a child, but now as an adult, I have a real good understanding of the timeline and how everything played out and what took place now as an adult. So now I got a little bit more, a lot more grace for the people that was involved in my life at the time, because as a child, I didn't understand. But now as an adult, I have the responsibility, you know what I'm saying? And to really gain understanding and then take accountability for myself, for my actions. Okay, yeah, I went through something, but now I asked a lot of questions and got a lot of answers. Now I got a clear understanding as of what took place and why. And now I know how to deal with it. So I even did that in my own life, my own personal life. That's good stuff.
That's it. That's so true. And I sat back and witnessed that with you. And I'm in the process of doing some of my things as well. So with that being said, I agree with you 1,000%. It starts with a question, people. If you got a question about something, why do so-and-so do this all the time? Or why he always arguing all the time? Or why this happened? Or why, my daddy this and that? It starts with a question, people. It's just that simple. And and I even go even before that. Before you ask the question, there's a level of curiosity that one have to possess. You got to be curious. You got to wonder why. Why is the most profound question. One of the most profound questions about any situation. Why are we doing this? Why did we start this podcast? Why did you get married? Why did you have kids? Why? Start with a question. So we're going to keep moving. The fourth one is replacing it, right? So once you recognize it, you take ownership, you gain some understanding of the trauma, of the curse or the cycle, you got to replace it. Because you don't just want to remove something, you got to install something better. I'm going to say that again. You don't want to just remove something, you want to install something better. Right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
New habits, new standards, new boundaries, new language, new way of moving, a new way of dealing with relationships,
a new circle,
a new circle, a new way of raising kids, a new way of approaching life. So you got to replace it. Out with the old, what they say, out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah. You should be raising your kids the same way you was raised. That's not normal.
Say that again.
It's really not. You shouldn't be raising your kids the same way you was raised.
Got to get better.
We got to do it better.
You got to do it. You have a God-given responsibility and duty to do a better job, regardless of how good or not so good your parents did. You have a responsibility, a duty, an obligation to do better than the last generation.
Right? And you know what, Courtney, like everybody think it's just financial. Okay, if I get my finances right, nah, it ain't just finances, because if you go into, say for instance, you hit the lottery, but you still got this same mindset.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna do nothing but blow it. Your mind is not in the right place. Your emotions is not in the right place. You still in this cycle. So it don't matter your financial situation. You still gonna be in a bad situation if you don't fix this stuff that we pointing out today. And we I'm telling you, this stuff is essential.
Yeah.
This is a must that you take the proper steps and you change your stuff and you break these cycles like this. I'm telling you.
I love it. I love it. And then to your point, money doesn't, and I'm not speaking from a millionaire or billionaire perspective. That's not my ministry, but from what I studied from successful people, financial successful people, is that money don't necessarily change people. It makes you more of who you are.
That's a fact.
What your habits, your $100 habit becomes a $100,000 habit, right?
Yeah.
That $50 habit that we got, the regular people, it's a $50,000 habit now. If you promiscuous with your little 9-to-5 check, your little $800 you get every week, imagine getting $8,000 a week. So now you're gonna have not one girl, now you're gonna have 5 girls around you. So it's like
more money, more problems. I'm telling you.
Problems, man. Let's get around the applause for that right there. It just makes you just double down on the bad. You may double down on the good, but you're gonna double down on the bad too. So it don't change anything. It makes you more of who you are, and it allows you to do more with that, right? More with your cycles, your generational curses. If you have a substance abuse, and you make $800 a week, you make it $8,000 a week now. You think that's when people start go from the little lines and doing the little pals like they do on Scarface. You just dipping it up, you just double it or triple it or quadruple it. Like that's to me, but yeah, you got to replace it. You got to replace the bad habits with the new habits, the old way of doing things with the new way of doing things, right? The old standard, which was in your family, right, with a new standard. Maybe your family wasn't really keen on education. Maybe it was like, oh well, you just graduate if you graduate. Nah, you may step in like, nah, everybody graduating and everybody getting a college degree, right? You got to put a stake in the ground and you got to move different. You got to do something different. You can't do the same thing and expect something different. We all know that's the definition of insanity. You have to do something different. So the last thing, I ain't gonna hold us too long here, is discipline, right? This is probably the hardest part of this whole thing, right? Is staying consistent and accountable to replacing whatever habit it is or whatever cycle it is, right? It's not done with just one decision. Oh, I broke the cycle. I'm good now. It's a daily discipline. Every day you got to wake up and you got to go against the grain, because your nature is this one thing. You have been raised in this nature over here, this old person over here. So every day you got to fight that urge. Every day you got to fight that substance. Every day you got to fight that, the lack, the poverty mindset, right?
Alcohol.
You got to fight it every day. So you got to have the discipline to implement these things, and the discipline. And what helps you with this is basically, in short, is surrounding yourself with people and systems and mentors that's going to hold you accountable.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say that again. What will help you is surrounding yourself with people, systems, or mentors that will hold you to it and hold you accountable. That's the game right there. That's the game.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I'm telling you, man. Look, and it's no excuse. We can sit around and make excuses all day long, man. But listen, me and Courtney, we come from it. Anything that you could name, alcohol, drugs. We used to live right next door to the bootlegger.
Bootlegger right now.
Drug dealer selling dope right on the corner where we stayed, 122 Spruce Street. And we gonna get deep into that, man. But growing up around gang members, like all of that, bro. Like we grew up around all that. You know what I'm saying? We from the hood, so it's not like if we can do it, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? So we speaking from. Well, listen, if we can do it, anybody can do it. Especially me. I've been on my own since I was 16 years old, man, and it wasn't by choice. So if I can make it, bro, anybody can make it. I come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a what they call them, mud babies. I'm a real mud baby.
That's good. Hey, this rabbit hole get real deep over here, and we're living, walking, breathing witnesses of breaking cycles and breaking those curses that was passed down, and that we ain't done. We're not sitting here telling y'all that we done. We done. We done broke them. It's done. It's every day. We're fighting against the ground every single day, every week, every month, every year.
Yes,
it's
sir.
something different. It's coming.
Yeah.
We see little signs of it. We got to reverse it. You know what I'm saying? You got to reverse it. So we going that was just I hope hopefully those 5 steps, somebody looked at that or listened to that and was like, you know what, I can do that. I can do that. It don't take a lot of money. It is take a lot of energy, mental energy, and a little bit of time. Right. And I'm gonna say this. Breaking the cycle in your family is one of the most important and one of the most hardest things you would do in your life. I'm gonna say that again. Breaking generational curses and breaking the cycle, those traumas that was transmitted and passed down through you in your family, breaking those are the most important and the most hardest things you could do in your life, period. So accomplishing that, in my opinion, you are a successful human being. I don't care what your title at work is. I don't care how much money is in your account. If you can do that, if your purpose is just to break the generational curse, break the trauma, break the cycle that has been passed down to you, and eventually that was going to pass down to your kids. If you break that and it stops with you, bro, you done had a successful life. You successful. You have succeeded. You won. You reversed it. So now your kids have a shot. Your family has a shot. So that's the part. Like, you got to understand that. I don't care. You heard it from me, Courtney Speedy Foster. You are successful. You have made it. You have arrived. You at the mountaintop. There's nothing higher. There's no other higher calling than that. If you break that cycle, if you break that curse, if you give your kids a shot at life by reversing all the negative elements that was passed on through you and that you experienced, you won. You're winning. Don't be hard on yourself. You're like us. We started from negatives. We didn't start at zero. It was in the negatives. We watched people around us do different things that we couldn't do. And we had to take that. We got abused by different ways. We had to take that. But we have an opportunity to reverse it with our kids, and that's what we're doing. And that's a part of this podcast, is building legacy through brotherhood. You can do it. So I'm sorry, Brian. I know you got a lot to say. I just wanted to just tell the people that real quick. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
You good?
Let's get to you. Let's talk about our stuff a little bit. We're gonna touch. We ain't gonna give them the 12 feet. Let's give them the 4 feet. Let's stay in the 4 feet real quick. We're gonna stay in the 4 feet. We're gonna stay in the shallow.
Give them a little shallow version.
It's a little shallow version. We want the water. Because people can't swim, Brian. It's got some people that can't swim out here. Yeah. So we want to give it to them waist deep. We don't want to take them all the way in. You know what I'm saying?
We're
Let's talk
moving
about
right along.
fatherhood. Let's talk about fatherhood.
I break this
So what you
thing
got as
down,
far as
man.
breaking the curse, breaking the generational curses in fatherhood? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, for me personally, uh, as a lot of people might know that know me personally, but for the ones who don't know, my situation is very different and unique in many different ways. Me personally, I didn't grow up like I partially grew up with a stepfather. Partially, I was very young, but my mother had, divorced him or whatever. But not having a father in my life, a father figure in my life, was a major thing for me. And so I didn't meet my actual biological father until I was an adult. So, and that wasn't his fault. He didn't know that I was his son. So, not having a father figure in my life was a major thing for me. From the discipline part, from the just being taught how to be a man part, and that goes on a lot in our community. I didn't know many people growing up that lived where we lived in my neighborhood in the hood, in the projects, Forest Heights, Grimtown. I didn't know many kids, period, that had a father in the home, which is a shame. And so that cycle or that generational curse in particular, I wanted to break that cycle for my kids. I wanted to be that positive father figure in my kids' life and providing them a strong support system around them so they won't go through that same cycle that I went through, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just simply being there for my kids and being an active father was a priority of mine. Giving them everything that I didn't have was a priority of mine, and so that was one of the biggest things for me because I look back and I think like, man, because before my dad passed away, we had a great relationship, man. I learned a lot from him. We talked every single day, and and I just imagine like, I look at how I am now. I could be even better had I had him,
Wow.
throughout my life. And so that's what I wanted to give to my kids. I wanted to give that to my kids. So breaking that cycle or that generational curse within, my life or whatever. So that's more.
Yeah, bro. That's heavy right there. Um, for clarity, so what did you do to break this? Well, how did you break the generational curse or the cycle in terms of fatherhood? What are you doing now? Like, how did for the people, for the clarity for the people?
I mean, just simply, really, just being there, just being an active father, man, and supporting my kids with any and everything that they doing. I'm present. I'm there because time is something that you can't get back. You can get money back. You can buy them all the clothes and the shoes and not be around and support them financially. But your presence as a father, as a parent, period, is more important than any monetary thing that you can ever give them. So I made it a point to, because I had your son, I had my oldest son at 18, and I could have went off to college to play football. You know what I'm saying? I could have went to Coastal Carolina uh, football. I could have went to different colleges or whatever because I was real talented. But I made it a point when I had my son. I said I would not leave my son. I'll figure it out. So I decided not to go to college to pursue my dreams of being a collegiate athlete. I decided to stay and not leave my son and sacrifice that so my son can have his father present every day. So That's what I pretty much gave up my dreams for my kids.
Man. I ain't gonna cut some money. Somebody cut some monies up in here. I ain't gonna. That's real right there, man. I hear that. I witnessed it, but to just hear it again, it is amazing, man. That is probably when you think about sacrifices and how you didn't even second guess it. It was like you use that energy, that trauma from your childhood of someone not necessarily being there for you in the most important times to make one of the most important decisions of your life, which was like, I'm going to forfeit college, a scholarship to go to college and play football to make sure that my son has what I did have growing up. So that come on, man. That in itself is worth it. Me, I was a little bit older than you. So I kind of blazed the trail a little bit differently. I did have a dad in the house, you know, Bryant Payne. I want to shout him out. Bryant Payne, let's give him some love. Had Jimmy Knuckles stepped in, you know, he was in there. I'm gonna shout him out too. We had my Uncle Alfred, he was there. I'm giving Uncle Alfred some love. They all stepped in. It's more to Clint Wilson. Let me get Clint some love. You know, we people who stepped in, who at different areas and times and semesters of my life that gave me just enough.
Shout Vernon out too.
Hey, let me get Vernon. Vernon taught me how to swim and how to fish. I put it in my book, man. Vernon was there, man. I'm telling you, Vernon was there. So I shot Vernon out for both of us, man. It was people who just stepped in, and it's more. I'm sorry, it's more people who stepped in, but I wanted to shout those gentlemen out for just stepping in and just filling the void for me. But there was times when they wasn't around. It was times when I didn't have nobody, and it was particularly the time when I was in middle school. When I look back when I think about it now, that's when the time I got in the most trouble. Like that was the troublesome time. A lot of people know me from my middle school days. They looking at me loud like, whoa, this dude, that's Courtney, you know. But that's when, you know, I was getting in fights. That's when I broke my virginity. That's when I was getting in trouble in the community. That's when I was staying out late, you know, sleeping wherever I could sleep, you know. And I'm not gonna get into all of that, but I look back to your point. That was the time I needed somebody, a male figure in the home, and I didn't have it. And, you know, young men need their fathers. They need them around. They need to hear their voice. They need to get that discipline. You know, they need to get that act right. You know, as I was going into a teenager, I didn't know all the feelings that I was feeling, you know, getting up and, you know, having these things going on with me and things of that nature and girls and stuff. You need men to walk alongside of you, to speak with you, to guide you, to make sure that things are going right, that you're on the right path, that you're on the right trajectory. If you don't have a man, a male, a father, a dad during that time, and you at a complete disadvantage. So if you do have your pops, if you do have a dad, I want everybody to stop what they're doing and reach out to them and tell them thank you. Even if they weren't perfect, if they was there, you need to show them some love. So as a father now, you know, of course, I'm blessed. I have kids that are, you know, knock on wood, they're good kids, you know what I'm saying? But it helps me as a father, as a dad. In my mind, it's like I'm gonna be to them what I needed when I was young. I'm gonna be to them what I needed in this time in my life. I'm gonna have the conversations with my son that I needed when I was a kid and when I was 16, right? I'm gonna show my daughters the affection that a man should show to his daughters. I'm gonna make sure she feel protected. I'm gonna make sure that she's prayed over. All my kids are prayed over. I'm gonna make sure that they have that provision and that provider they know that's gonna be there for them through the thick and thin. So even though I didn't have a father in some of the most crucial times of my life, I got enough from everybody, those figures, to kind of piece together what it feels like and what it should look like as a father. But ultimately, breaking the cycle in the fatherhood, it's a journey. It's a day-to-day journey. and I'm not there yet. I'm still learning, and I'm just like I'm breaking that cycle every single day. So that's there you go, the top. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. We moving. We moving. Living situation. What do you want to talk about in terms of living situation? And because that's a part of our cycle, right? We moved a lot.
Yeah, we moved, man, bro. We moved so much, bro. We moved a lot as a when I was a kid. Just not having a stable living situation, bro. Like that's hard on the kid, man. Like you start developing, you start meeting friends, and then you got to move. You get comfortable, and you start getting used to one place, and now you got to move again. Uh, man, we just moved a whole lot as a kid, and I'm gonna tell you, man, that was a direct. I think to me, it was a direct reason why I struggled in school real bad as a kid. Man, I don't, man, listen, as bad as it sounds, and it's not my mom, it's not my mom's fault or whatever, it was just circumstances and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't never really remember doing homework, bro, as a kid. I would just be honest with you. I don't never remember doing homework, and I failed a grade, bro. You know what I'm saying? Either I failed or mama held me back. That's the term. Oh, my mama held me back. Nah, you failed. I failed. But my mama held me back. That's what a lot of people like to say. But I struggled, bro. Like I was that kid that struggled real bad in school, man. You know what I'm saying? With reading, math, everything. I struggled. We just wasn't stable. We wasn't stable. We just kept moving and moving and moving. And so for my kids, I put an emphasis on like ownership, owning a home, giving my kids, yes sir, like giving my kids an actual home, like a place where they could just call home, and that stability. You know what I'm saying? So, my Bishop and Briley lived in two different places, but she don't really remember the first place where she lived. She pretty much remember this house where we live right now. And Bishop has always grew up in this house his whole entire life. Now my oldest two boys, they didn't move. We didn't move around a whole lot with them. And they were so young, they don't really remember. And so, just giving them that stability, bro, like a place where they could just call home. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I didn't have.
That's so good. That's so good, man. And I was with you. We moved a lot, man, and I counted. For me,
how many times we moved?
Hey, man, for me, I counted 13 different times. 13 different times.
I think it was more. It might have been more than that.
And that's and I'm 13 different times, 9 different schools. That's how many times I counted. And out of those 13 different times, I think we might have moved to 5 different states or 4 different states. Florida.
Yeah, we moved to 4 or 5 different states easily. About 5 different states.
Yeah,
we weren't just moving around the neighborhood. No, we was moving from state to state.
It's like I went from West Charlotte High School to North Meck. I'm like, that ain't
moving, bro.
Concord High to Central Cabarrus. I'm like, nah, that ain't really though. Like, we went from Pensacola, Florida to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Like that was good for the South. We didn't get on the airplane either. We was driving. Man, listen, we in the car. So that just give you a little snapshot. Like, in the South and the North, they have 2 different curriculums. So the South is known to be a little bit more behind than the Southern and then the Northern curriculum. So you go from down south to up north, you may stay in the same grade, you may move in the 5th grade, but then you go up top, go to New York or Connecticut that we did, you're in the 5th grade, but they so far ahead of you that you playing catch up. So you say it affected your academics, you know, it affected mine as well. You know, it was tough, but I'm sure other people share the same thing. That's why we're sharing this now. We was able to get through it. One of the benefits of moving, though, and what I've learned, one of the benefits of moving is that you never meet a stranger, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's a
you go
fact.
from being the shy kid, you the shy kid, and then eventually, like, man, yeah, my name is Courtney Foster. Da da da. My favorite food is this. My favorite, you always, the new kid in class. I always had to stand up and say their name.
Bro, listen, we grew up around a lot of different cultures too. You remember we used to stay around some Haitians.
Yeah,
A
Haitians,
lot of Haitians in Connecticut, bro.
Jamaicans and stuff like white people, black people, affluent, well-off people, ghetto hood people, however you want to put it. We've been around it all, so we developed what it did for us. On the flip side, it helped us learn how to open our mouths and network and talk to a diverse audience and a diverse people. So
Yeah.
that was the benefits of moving. So that's just how that worked out. And again, 13 different times, 9 different schools, and we're gonna recount that. Right? That's what I landed on: 13 times in 9 different schools. So let's keep it moving. Let's go to extracurricular. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute. We have 55 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up in a second. Let's talk about extracurricular. What are some, when you think about extracurricular, think about sports. We think about, for the girls, you think about dance, you think about ballet, and all these things that the kids do outside of school. How did you break the cycle in that regard?
Man, for me, bro, like sports, like mom, as you know, mama used to work a lot. Sometimes she had 2, 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So she couldn't be there for us when we was playing sports. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really have no support system because mama was at work. So either the coach had to come get me, or one of the parents from the team had to come pick me up. Or, I remember as a kid, me riding my bike to practice. I had my shoulder pads on one handlebar, and I had my helmet on the other handlebar. I used to ride my bike to practice.
Gee, you want to be there,
You know what I'm
boy.
saying? Hey, man, I had to ride my bike to practice, so it was like I didn't have no support system, man. Like as far as supporting me through sports, and we didn't have no fathers around to teach us how to do this, teach us how to do that. We had to get everything out of the mud. We had to learn everything on our own. You know what I'm saying? So it was just that part of it. I wanted to break that cycle and to like whatever my kids wanted to do, whether it was sports, whether it was dance, singing, gymnastics, whatever it was. I wanted to be there, didn't want to miss a moment. I'm always taking pictures and videos. I know they get sick and tired of me with these videos and pictures. Man, I just don't want to lose a moment because we don't have many, we don't got many pictures of us like when we was growing up. Like we don't have a whole lot of, definitely no videos, but we ain't got a lot of pictures. So I wanted to kind of break that cycle and like just be the ultimate support system for my kids when it come to extracurricular stuff. So yeah, that's for me. What about you, bro?
That's good. The same sentiment, the exact same thing, man. Just not having the support that other kids had growing up in the sports realm. Can't look over there and see your people in the stands. That kind of hurt, and it hurt me even worse to know that most people wanted to, but they couldn't. Right?
Yeah.
They had to go to work, or they couldn't make it in town because they had to work or had other commitments that was prior to. That hurt. And they were dealing with stuff. We come from a impoverished background, so my grandma wanted to come to some of the games, but she didn't have no transportation, didn't have no license, wanted to come, wanted to support. Again, when you're dealing with poverty and things of that nature, a lot comes with that. So I'm grateful for the village of the people who did, support me, that did put their arm around me and put their arm around you. But it ain't nothing can take the place of a mom and a dad. Not to say that we didn't have that, like physically, like I had some support, but it's just like the consistent day in, day out, sports after sports, season after season, just not knowing that hurt a lot. But then ultimately, how I broke the cycle was just being an active participant in terms of coaching, training, volunteering, being at the school, just overly doing it, right? To compensate for what I missed when I was a kid. And that's kind of like you said with the pictures and the videos, like we're overcompensating because we're doing it for them. But then again, it's a satisfaction for us that we're solving, that we're breaking in our own lives. You know what I'm saying? So we don't never want our kids to be able to say anything that we experience was true for them. So we overly do it. We overly participate. We coach, we train, we go to the dance events, we volunteer, we donate money, we do those things to make sure that cycle is broken and it's shattered and it's not coming back. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. Oh man. And we can go on and on and on. We can talk about financials and environments and things of that nature. We're going to save that for part 2 because this is a loaded topic. There's a lot to this. Is anything else you wanted to share on that? But I know we can go on and on and on about the things that we're reversing in our generation.
Nah, I mean that's simply, man. We have to, as a people, break these generational curses, man. That's so very important, and recognizing it and seeking therapy. You know what I'm saying? Seeking help.
That's right.
Sitting down with somebody, man, and really wanting it for yourself. Not only for yourself, but for the next generation of wanting better. And that's what we might not become extremely successful or extremely financially where we want to be, but who's to say we won't set the next generation up to become that? So that's the goal, man. That should be the goal. It's to progress. Each generation to progress further and further and get where you need to be as a family, man. Because you live for your last name. You don't live for your first. Don't be selfish. You know what I'm saying? Help out that next generation so they can become something that, a better version of yourself or whatever. Because your kids is a direct reflection of you.
That's it.
You can always tell, like, if you want to know how a person is, like, look who they raised. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom, that's how I know my mom did a good job. She did the best that she could do. Cause, you know what I'm saying? Look at her son.
That's it.
And the Most High blessed us with a different type of mindset, man. A lot of the people that we grew up with, you know what I'm saying? They either dead or in prison. But we ran with these people. You know what I'm saying? We did a lot of stuff that they did. Yep. A lot of the robbing, the stealing, and all that type of stuff. Yep, dibbling, dabbling in the streets. You know what I'm saying? We did all that stuff, man. But the Most High, he had a different plan for our life.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we just trying to live out our purpose, man. That's it.
That's it, man. We got through this rain and didn't get wet, man. I say a lot of people that's not here with us and had a different outcome, but we did some of the same things. So we're not better. We just took a different path at the end of the day. And I hate that that we all are not standing here. Everybody that, we kind of came up with and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep moving, keep pursuing your purpose and keep putting one foot in front of the other. You said something also that mom did a good job. Look at her. Mama, like, you did a great job. And I want to shout my mom out. You did a great job. And, because we're here and we're here to, we're talking about it. We're healthy. We got a sound mind. So that's a success in itself. So let's clap it up for mama real quick. That generation. And I want to tell the people too, before we get off here, just give your people grace. give them grace because they was dealing with things too. They was battling curses. They was battling cycles and stuff that was passed down to them. And the 70s and the 80s, them was a different eras right there, man. The people be like, oh, is that new under the sun, which is true. But I'm telling you, a lot of these kids couldn't survive in the 80s. What was going on in the 80s and the 70s and all that stuff.
Telling you. Yeah, even the 90s.
In the early 90s, man. Everybody went, hey, that's a different era right there, bro. Like that was different. A different era. There's a lot of like laws that protect people now. There's a lot of things that's in place to protect these new kids now. Back then, there wasn't a lot of laws and protections and statutory rapes and stuff, like all types of stuff, drug laws and stuff. Like it wasn't a lot of stuff, abuse and stuff. It was just normal. It was just normal in the household and stuff like that. And it was just a different era then. So that's why I give my parents and my pops, my mom, and everybody, I give them grace because it just, I don't know if I could have been living in the 80s like that. And in the South when all the other stuff was going on. So say that.
Auntie Becky said back then they didn't speak about anything. You absolutely right about that, Auntie. They didn't speak a whole lot about stuff, man. Everybody kept quiet, about a lot of stuff.
Swept everything under the rug. Swept everything under the rug, man. Just everything. It was just that's what it was. It was just just go about your life. Just turn a blind eye to it. Turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. This was good. We will do a part 2 of this because we didn't even talk about financials. We didn't talk about environment. We didn't talk about legacy and identity. We have it's a lot of meat on this bone of breaking the cycle that we want to share. And we're going to pick back up on a part 2 series, and we're going to invite some guests on, and maybe we may have a therapist or somebody on here to help us just explain some of these things and these phenomena that happen in our lives and in our community. So that's what we're looking to do, but we wanted to just touch the surface, touch the tip of the ice, what to say, stay in the 4 feet on it. We go deeper next time around. But we got to get this giveaway in. We got to get this giveaway. We got to do this giveaway.
Yes, sir. I see some people in the chat. I see Becky in there. I see Walter.
Let's see what we got up in here. We're gonna do
Antoinette.
We're gonna do a quick giveaway real quick.
Hey, if you're still in the chat, do me a favor. Put an emoji in the chat. Like raise your hand emoji in the chat if you're still in the chat. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Raise your hand in the chat, man. Let us know you still here.
Let's give our sponsor some love real quick. We started out talking about it. We're going to end talking about Crawford and Sons Lawn and Maintenance LLC. Again, they're based headquartered down in Greenville, South Carolina, but they serve the surrounding areas as well. Give them a call. Good people. Family business, they'll do you right. Tell them my brother's keeper sent you. They might even give you a discount. I'm just saying. Tell them my brother's keeper sent you. You might get a discount, baby. Let's do an air right there. Yeah. We want to hook our people up. So let's go get there. We're gonna go ahead and do it. Let's see what we got here. Let me see what we got in this chat. Who we got in the chat, man? Let's see what we got going on. Let me see what we got going on. Did everybody follow us? Who we got in there? Do we need to go ahead? You got any names for me? I can't even ask. Yeah, let's see. Who we got up in there? I don't even know who we got in there. We do. All right, let's see. Let me do the name. We got any names for me, Brian? Any names?
Yeah, put Becky.
Let's see, Becky. I'm sorry if I don't spell your name right. So Becky. All right, I'm just put Becky. All right.
Yeah. Who is that? Antoinette.
Oh, that's my sister right there.
Yeah.
All right. Who else?
All right, don't be shy about this money now. Put a thumbs up in the chat.
We got a little something
Yeah,
we're gonna give
listen.
away, you know.
Y'all better stop playing. Come get this money.
The gas price is $4 and some change. All right, here playing around. Let's go get it. Well, we got in them the only two. We got Walter
Walter,
Crawford out there.
yeah, we got Walter in there.
Yeah, let's go. Walter Crawford is in there. You know, the owner of he's the owner of our Crawford and Sons Lawn Care and Maintenance LLC. Let's clap it up for that right there. That's good. Our sponsor is in here. Our sponsor is in here. Let's ride. The thumbs up. All right, we'll roll with these two right here. We're gonna roll with these two right here. That's we good to go.
Hold on one second. Let me check YouTube real quick.
Okay. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. I can't even see.
Nah, we good on YouTube. Yeah.
All right. Get it. All right. And one. Let me get the little names. We got two names in here. We got Antoinette and Becky. Let's see what we got here. Let me do this. Let me share this screen. Share this tab instead.
Sure, we can just give them out.
We're gonna give them out. That's it.
Let's give them out. We got two gift cards.
That's it. We're gonna got two. Let's give it right here. Boom. We're gonna give it out. All you gotta do is send us your email. Woo! Antoinette, my sister got it. She got it. Yeah. Hey sis, send us your email on a My Brother's Keeper. Send us your email. We got something hot coming from you. Thank you so much. Good to see you, sis. Let's go. And we got another one. Let's go. We're gonna give it to Becky. You say give it to Becky. We're gonna hopefully land on Becky. It's gonna land on Becky. We got you, Becky. We're gonna do it just for the sake of doing it. But Becky, we got you. I told you we had you, Becky. I told you we had you, Becky. Let's go.
Becky, make sure you send over your email so we can send you this gift card.
And we got your gift cards coming hot and heavy, sponsored by Crawford and Sons Lawn and Maintenance LLC. Thank you. Oh yeah. Let's go. All right. So one more thing before we get out of here. We got to get this. We got to go ahead and get you excited for what's next. All right. So thank you for coming. Our next episode is next Sunday at 7 p.m. We'll have a guest speaker, Ms. Sean Hall with All Roads Education. And I'm telling you, this is a heavy hitter right here. She is coming. And I'm telling you, she is excited. She's coming. You don't want to miss this, especially if you have kids in the grades 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th. She is a scholarship expert, and her personal goal is for kids to go to college debt free. Again, I'm gonna say that again. Her goal is for your son, your daughter to access dollars so they can go to college debt free, right? On the government's dime. That's what she do. She's the person to do it. So if you have a kid that has inspiration and motivation to go to college, you need to tune in. She's also going to do some Q&A. She has Q&A. So if you have any questions about that college access process, you don't want to miss it. So we are excited. It's going down next Sunday at 7 p.m. So you don't want to miss it. All right. There we go. And another one.
Hey, we appreciate everybody, man. I hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube page. Go give our social medias a follow on Instagram, Facebook. Just give us a follow, man, and share it out. Thank everybody for the support, and we will see everybody back here Sunday.
We out.